ואיזה כיף שהצטרפתם אלינו. אנחנו מאוד מתרגשים, אנחנו כאן בוובינר בנושא SanerNow של חברת SecPod. כמה מנהלות לפני שנתחיל. אז קודם כל, אנחנו ממש נודה לכם אם אתם תשאלו שאלות רק בסקשן של ה-Q&A ולא בצ'אט. אנחנו כמובן תוך כדי הסשן נענה לכם על שאלות, תרגישו חופשי לשאול. גם שאלות שלא נספיק לענות, אתם תקבלו אחר כך מענה במייל. חשוב מאוד לא לצלם את הוובינר ולא לשתף כלום ברשתות, אנחנו עושים את זה בצורה מסודרת מקצועית, ונשתף את הכל אחר כך. אז אפשר להתחיל. אני כבר אשתף את המסך שלי. בינתיים אני אציג את עצמי, אז קודם כל נעים מאוד, אני לירון פרבר, CTO של חברת פרולוג'יק, אנחנו הנציגים הבלעדיים של SecPod בארץ. היום בוובינר שלנו יפתח אותו ליאור לוי המנכ"ל, אנחנו כבר נתחיל איתו, לאחר מכן נעשה איזושהי הצגה בהיי-לבל של המוצר, ונסיים בדמו שיציג ג'סיר סינג מטעם היצרן. אז בואו נתחיל ושיהיה לכם, שתהנו ושיהיה לנו בהצלחה. ליאור, הבמה שלך.
אז good morning, בוקר טוב לכולם. קודם כל, תודה לכל החבר'ה שנמצאים איתנו כאן בוובינר, שפינו את הזמן להצטרף לוובינר של SecPod. אז נעים מאוד, אני ליאור לוי, מנכ"ל ובעלים של חברת פרולוג'יק. אנחנו מונים כ-800 יועצים, מתמחים בתחום של מערכות מידע, סייבר סקיוריטי, תשתיות, בסיסי נתונים ועוד. מגוון רחב של לקוחות שלנו זה בין משרדי ממשלה, צבא, ביטחון, הייטק, חברות סטארט-אפ וכו', שירותי מיקור חוץ, שירותים של יועצים, ולצד זה אנחנו גם בעצם משווקים מספר מוצרים, מוצרי תוכנה, SolarWinds שבטח חלקכם מכירים, Observability מלא מקצה לקצה, לתשתיות, דאטה סנטרים, אפליקציות וכדומה, פתרונות של קווסט, פתרונות הידרה לניהול בסיסי נתונים, וכרגע בוובינר הזה אנחנו נדבר על SecPod. אגב, אם ככה, כמה לפני שנתחיל, אני לא בזבז את הזמן שלכם, אבל רק בשנת 2023 התגלו כ-31,000 פגיעויות חדשות. ארגונים, כדי להתמודד עם פגיעות חדשות, הם צריכים, חוץ מהון אנושי, הם גם צריכים מערכות תומכות כדי לסרוק, לאתר ולטפל בפגיעויות כמעט בריאותן, בטח ובטח, בתקופה הזאת שאנחנו בתקופה של מלחמה, מלחמת חרבות ברזל, שגם בממד הסייבר, בממד ה-IT, הם מנסים לתקוף אותנו ולהשבית אותנו וכדומה. אנחנו כאן נרחיב עם הפתרונות של SecPod, שבעצם כדי להתמודד עם זה צריך אוטומציה מלאה, ועם SecPod יש לנו בעצם AI ואוטומציה מלאה לסרוק את הפגיעות, לאתר את הפגיעות וגם לטפל בהן. שיהיה המשך יום נעים, פתוח ושקט, אני מעביר את השרביט אלייך, לירון.
תודה רבה ליאור. אז אני כבר אשתף את המסך כדי שככה נוכל להתחיל לדבר על המוצר בהיי-לבל. תנו לי שניונת. רואים את המסך שלי? אבל לא במסך מלא, נכון? אז רגע, בואו נחכה עוד שנייה. טוב. אז אנחנו כאן באמת היום לדבר על SanerNow, אחד מהמוצרים שאנחנו מגדירים אותו Game Changer בעולמות של Vulnerability Management, ותכף אתם גם תוכלו להבין למה. כמה מילים על החברה. אז קודם כל SanerNow הוא מוצר מאוד מאוד ותיק בשוק. החברה SecPod נוסדה ב-2008, ככה על ציר הזמן פה אתם יכולים להתרשם מהדרך שהחברה הזו עשתה. זו חברה אמריקאית, המטה יושב בהודו. אנחנו בשנה וחצי האחרונות מייצגים אותם בבלעדיות בארץ, ואנחנו, ככל שעובר הזמן, אנחנו נוכחים לגלות יותר ויותר כמה המוצר, הפלטפורמה הזאת, היא מיוחדת, וכמה היא באמת נותנת value מאוד מאוד גבוה ללקוחות שלנו. החברה באמת נוסדה ממשהו מאוד מאוד קטן, התחילה עם מוצר מאוד מאוד קטן ככה בעולמות של ה-Vulnerability Management, ועם הזמן התפתחה, והיום הפלטפורמה מונה כ7 מודולים, אנחנו תכף גם נעבור עליהם ונזכור אותם, כדי שתבינו לגמרי מה המוצר הזה מכסה. יכולה להגיד לכם שבעולם המוצר הזה מוטמע בהרבה מאוד ארגונים, בפריסה מאוד מאוד רחבה באירופה ובארצות הברית. אנחנו בשנה וחצי האחרונות מקדמים את המוצר בישראל, ואנחנו גם פה מתחילים לראות אותו נפרס בשוק. ככה על המסך אתם יכולים לראות חלק מהחברות שבאמת עושות שימוש ב-SanerNow בעולם. אני אשאיר את זה ככה לעוד כמה שניות שתתרשמו. אבל מה שבעצם אני רוצה לדבר זה בעצם על כל הסייקל הזה של vulnerability management, ואיך אנחנו עם SecPod באמת יכולים לתת מענה כולל מקצה לקצה לעולמות האלה. אז אנחנו תמיד יודעים שהתהליך הזה מתחיל באיזושהי ויזיביליות נדרשת על מנת לדעת מי הן הפגיעויות שקיימות לנו בסביבה הארגונית שלנו. כמובן נתחיל מזיהוי של אותן פגיעויות, הערכה שלהם על מנת להבין עד כמה הן חמורות, איזשהו תיעדוף של איפה הכי נכון לנו לטפל קודם, לאחר מכן כמובן ניכנס לתהליך של רמידיאשן, ושוב אנחנו נקבל ויזיביליות טובה יותר, והתהליך הזה חוזר וחוזר חלילה. בעצם SecPod SanerNow כפלטפורמה מאפשרת לנו להיות בראש התהליך הזה, ובעצם לאפשר לנו מניעה של הרבה מאוד מהvulnerabilities שאנחנו עשויים להתקל בהם, כמובן על ידי תהליך של זיהוי, תגובה וריקאברי. קצת נדבר על הפלטפורמה ממש בכמה מילים. אז קודם כל SanerNow פלטפורמה single console single agent, במסך אחד עם agent אחד אנחנו באמת יכולים לחסות הרבה מאוד יכולות בעולמות האלה של endpoint management ו-patch management. המוצר הוא מוצר שמתאים גם לקלאוד וגם ל-on-prem, נוכחנו לאחרונה גם לראות אותו נותן מענה לסביבות air-gap, אז גם סביבות מוקשחות, סביבות ביטחוניות, סביבות שדורשות מענה יותר ייחודי, SanerNow יודע לתת מענה. אוקיי? אנחנו מדברים על מוצר שיודע לעבוד בעולמות של תחנות עבודה, ציודי תקשורת ושרתים. שימו לב, גם ציודי תקשורת, מה שבעצם קצת מבדל אותו מהרבה מוצרים אחרים בשוק שמתייחסים רק לעולמות השרתים והתחנות. אז פה במוצר אחד אנחנו מכסים גם את עולמות ה-vulnerabilities לציודי תקשורת, virtual devices כמובן, וכמובן תומכים בכל מערכות ההפעלה, Windows, Linux ו-Mac. קצת לגבי העולמות שהמוצר הזה מתעסק בהם. אז אנחנו באמת מתעסקים בשלושה עולמות עיקריים, העולם של Visibility and Control, העולם של Detection ו-Prioritization, והעולם של Remediation ו-Mitigation. בעצם הקוביות שאתם רואים כאן אלה אותם מודולים שעליהם אנחנו מדברים. המודול הראשון הוא מודול של Asset Exposure, בעצם Inventory של האסטים שלכם, ומודול שבעצם נקרא Anomaly Management, שבעצם יודע לזהות אנומליות אצלכם בסביבה, ובעצם מכאן לעשות highlight למה שיכול להיות vulnerability בהמשך. בעולמות של detection ו-prioritization, אז יש לנו את המודול של vulnerability management שיודע לזהות את הפגיעויות ולנהל אותם, compliance management על מנת לוודא שהארגון שלכם עומד בתאימות לתקנים הרלוונטיים או לתקנים שלכם הייעודיים, והמודול שנוסף בשנה האחרונה נקרא risk prioritization, בעצם מאפשר לכם לבוא ולתעדף את הסיכונים שלכם על מנת לדעת במי נכון לטפל קודם. וכמובן בעולמות הרמידיאשן אנחנו מדברים על patch management ו-endpoint management, ניהול מלא של ציודי קצה מקצה לקצה. זו הפלטפורמה, באמת מכסה הרבה מאוד יכולות במוצר אחד. שככה לסיום אני רוצה שנדבר קצת מספרים. אז אנחנו מדברים בעצם על מוצר שמבצע מעל מיליארד סריקות בשנה, ומזהה מעל 5 מיליארד vulnerabilities, באחוז דיוק מאוד מאוד קרוב ל-100%, 99.999. הזמן שלוקח לסקפוד לתמוך בוולנרביליטי שהתגלה הוא עד 30 שעות. אנחנו מדברים על זיהוי של 100% מה-zero days, ועם יכולת לתקן דרך המוצר מעל 86%. SecPod הוא ללא ספק שחקן שמשחק במגרש של הגדולים, אנחנו יכולים לראות למטה את השמות של המוצרים האחרים בשוק, כל היכולות שאתם מקבלים במוצרים האלה אפשר לקבל גם מ-SanerNow, אז עד כאן אני חושבת שככה קיבלתם איזשהו בריף כללי, והגיע הזמן לראות בעיניים. Jasir, hello.
Hi, Leron. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. So I just introduced the product, and now I'm giving you the stage in order to do the demo. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Leron, and thanks a lot, Leon. Hi, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity. So I think Leron gave a good overview of how the product works, and then what solutions do we offer, right, as part of the ProLogic team. So I'm going to share my screen and show you how exactly we do it using the product. And of course, you can put all your questions in the chat. Lior and Liron can definitely answer them for you, and I can pitch in wherever I'm needed. So what I'm showing you is the actual live demo of the product. And as Liron said, it's a solution that you can use to build end-to-end vulnerability management. And of that whole solution, there are components that we have designed on the platform, a component for discovery, a component for detection of risk, a component for remediation of risk, and then the fourth component of the reporting, right, which completes the end-to-end vulnerability management process for you. So what you see on my screen is what we call as the unified dashboard, where you have where you get on a high level information on how many devices are in your infrastructure that we have discovered by having an agent on these machines, or you can have an agentless architecture implemented. We have the technical feasibility available from a solution perspective, right? But on a high level, you have in understanding of what is your asset infrastructure. Then what we do is on a 0 to 100 scale, we calculate something we call a cyber hygiene score, which basically demonstrates how good are the efforts that you have already invested in building a defense for your asset infrastructure, right? Then the second layer of information that we provide through this solution for IT security teams is the risk that can be detected on all of these assets. Now, the risk can be risk of software vulnerabilities, can be from misconfigurations, can be just anomalies or unwanted trends in the posture of your asset, of your IT infra. Or it could also be the missing patches, which is another added layer of risk, right? So we help you detect all of this risk with the tools on the platform. And then what we do is we take all of that detected risk and help you prioritize that risk based on what you want to act as of now, I mean, immediately, or and what can be just attended to, what can be just tracked. Right. And then what we also have, unlike other vulnerability assessment or management vendors, we complete the loop and help you remediate those findings, right? Which is one of our strengths. So as a differentiator for this solution, how you can look at this is a core solution for security to detect the risk on your assets, and then a core solution for IT ops or SecOps teams to remediate the risk that is being detected, right? However, you can implement these solutions as you wish and the current use cases that you're trying to solve. But from a functionality perspective, the platform offers all of those to you, right? From a capability perspective, this is a multi-tenant solution, so you can manage multiple offices, multiple customers, right? If you're implementing this for multiple locations or multiple, let's say, geographies, right? So it's a multi-tenant solution. You can have multiple tenants. You can manage your users, give them respective privilege, assign them whatever access they're supposed to have, right? That's possible, and you can do that at a granular level. Then from a discovery and a agent deployment, network scanning, all of those functionalities are part of the core platform, which you can use to configure the platform. But fundamentally, once you have the platform configured and implemented in your organization, you'll be able to see all the devices that you've added. Now, these devices can be added via Excel import, or if you already have these assets mapped on your Active Directory, we can pull it from there. Or if you have it on Azure directory, right, we can take it from there. Or you can deploy our agents on your machines to discover them and add them to the platform. Once these devices are added here, you can group them as you wish, right? If you want to manage them based on a group of devices, or if you want to add tags to those devices to identify them separately, we have the tagging capability, right? You can scan these devices as many times you want. We have a default scan that is scheduled every day, though you can scan these assets whenever you want to, right? From a benchmarking perspective, what we have seen historically, that we take about 5 minutes on a Windows machine and less than 3 minutes on a Mac or Linux machine, right? And to scan the entire device. And from a support perspective, what we have is support for all of these operating systems. So Windows, Linux family, right, and macOS family. Recently, we also added support for IBM AIX. So, of course, we can all of this information with you after the webinar, and it's also available with Liron's team and on our website as well. Right. So once the platform is set up, you're set to go. And how the platform then works is, once you have these devices added onto the platform, then these are the tools that Liron spoke about. And we fundamentally cover 4 use cases from a security architecture point of view, where first use case is getting visibility into your asset infrastructure, being able to do a posture anomaly assessment and see if there are any loopholes in the posture, right, or user behavior or device behavior, right? We find all of those loopholes for you. Then the next level of security tools that we have for you is vulnerability assessment, compliance management tools. So if you have your own policies that you want to assess your infrastructure against, and find if there are any misconfigurations or configuration drift from the policies that you want or the controls you want your infra to follow. Right, so we help you detect all the vulnerabilities, software vulnerabilities, and misconfigurations, right, in your infrastructure. And from a coverage perspective or security intelligence, SecPod has been a security intelligence vendor since 2008. So we have our own database, which we build referencing multiple sources like National Vulnerability Database, NVDE, and a lot of other benchmarks like MITRE and other sources. So, and which is something that we also work with other security vendors, right, where we serve as an R&D arm for them. So from a coverage perspective, you can rest assured that any new vulnerabilities that are being reported in the public domain, we would have them covered between 24 to 72 hours. That's our SLAs, right? So every day we update our knowledge base. So that's the scan accuracy and the scan information that you derive from our scans, right? So every day you're looking at the refreshed information, not information from 3 months ago or 6 months ago, right? Then what we do is the next level is help you prioritize those risks, right? It could be impossible to manage 100,000 vulnerabilities, right, or 500,000 vulnerabilities or configuration issues at once. So what we do is we take all of those detected risk and then put it in a framework. We use CISA's SSVC framework, stakeholder specific vulnerability categorization framework, to help your teams identify what part of the risk is actionable right now and what can be maybe clubbed in your weekly or monthly or your quarterly remediation exercises, right? Then to close the loop, we have the remediation capability, which in fact is one of the most loved capabilities of from our customers, because as a security vendor, we just don't stop at detection. We help you remediate those. And remediation is where we have patch management, endpoint management tools, where patch management automatically knows what patches are needed by your assets, and then we serve them to you. You can choose when to apply, how to apply, and all of that. You can also set up automatic schedules to update these patches on your systems, or take them through a workflow if you already have a workflow. Right. And then endpoint management goes beyond patch management, gives you 100+ security controls to serve use cases such as software deployment, application device blacklisting, whitelisting, right? Or disabling, enabling, tuning up machines, monitoring system health, right? Or it could be also if you want to run any scripts on your machine. So all of those functionalities are part of the endpoint management module. All of these modules are modular, functional, so you can activate whatever you need based on your use cases, or you can activate them all if you want to implement an end-to-end vulnerability management program, as Leron described earlier. Right, so I'm quickly going to run through these modules on a high level, though if you want an in-depth demo from our team, feel free to reach out to Leron or Lior or the ProLogic team. Right, so asset exposure gives you information about your assets, device distribution, type of devices that you have in an asset infra, more granular information on those assets, right? If you want to do a base level license management, you can do that for your SBOM software bill of material, right? And then also identify if your teams are using blacklisted applications, outdated applications, and all. Right, that's from an inventory perspective. Then we go one level deeper on the posture anomaly management, where we take all of those assets, then identify more than 2,000 data points on each asset, and then we do 75+ checks, pattern checks on these assets, right? Where you then get information on whether there are any user behavior or device behavior in anomalies on your infrastructure, right? These could be in the forms of, as an example, let's say if you have 500 machines or 1,000 machines running configured on this platform, right? What we can show you is if there are any machines that have firewall disabled, right? If there are any machines that have multiple VPNs running, right? Or there is the BitLocker is disabled, right? Or too many software, too many vulnerabilities on a few machines, right? So these kind of anomalies we can show them to you. You can decide whether they are an anomaly in your infrastructure or not. In that case, you can whitelist them and make your IT known good, right? The end goal of this solution for infrastructure teams is to have granular visibility on how your assets are behaving in your infrastructure, right? And then have a good view of what could be the risk more from a posture assessment outside view on your infra. Then in the detection level, we go deeper and show you if there are any vulnerabilities in the software components, right? On your operating system or third-party applications that you have on your devices. We list all of those vulnerabilities to you in front of you, right? So you can make your decisions accordingly. What we also provide you is exploitability of those vulnerabilities. How easy or difficult is it to exploit the vulnerabilities that exist in your environment? And then what we also provide you with is the information if there are any publicly known vulnerable exploits or malware kits that are exploiting those vulnerabilities that you already have in an infrastructure, right? Of course, you can look at all of that information at a device level, right? But this dashboard gives you a very high level information about what are the vulnerabilities that are found in your asset infrastructure. One quick highlight I wanted to show all of you is, unlike any other vendor, what we have is a proof of detection and evidence of detection, right? Where you can definitely go and jump into details of how that vulnerability was found and why this vulnerability is being flagged as a vulnerability, right? So we do have all of this information available for you, which you can go ahead and inspect yourself, right? And of course, all of this information you can either export into your own reports, or if you have any other software that you want this information to be part of. So going beyond vulnerability management, compliance management is where you can configure your own benchmarks or policies that you want your devices to follow. This is where you can go with the templated benchmark that we already have here, or you can create your own benchmark by editing these templates here. Right. Once you do that, what then happens is this tool, the compliance management tool, gives you an understanding of how many devices out of your infrastructure are compliant with your policies and what is the miscompliance, right? And then you can get all of that information handy to take appropriate actions. As part of risk prioritization, we take all of those vulnerabilities and misconfigurations and then catalog them for you on a dashboard such as this, where out of all the vulnerabilities and misconfiguration that are detected, how many needs action now, how many need maybe just attention, how many needs just tracking, right? So this dashboard gives you a in-depth understanding of how you should prioritize your remediation activities based on the information that is available on the platform. Now, you can choose to directly remediate from here if you also want to use this solution for remediation, right? Or if you want this information to be exported into your existing remediation solution, you can do that as well. Though in an integrated fashion, how this platform would then work is when you go to patch management dashboard, you would see all of the you would see your infrastructure from a patch compliance perspective, how many devices are updated and how many devices or software need an update, right? And unlike any other patch management solution, this solution gives you this information handy, how many vulnerabilities are detected that need a patch that can be fixed with the patch, and what are those devices that are needing this update, right? And which is where you can go in and look at all the patches that are available that are needed by your machines. And what we also show you is what are those machines that are needing these patches, and what is the severity level of this patch if it's a security patch. We do provide you with non-security patches as well, right? Any KB updates or software upgrades that may not be necessarily a security related update, right? Then there's a lot of other functionalities that may help you, like if you want to roll back any implemented patch, or if you want to automate this process of patching these software, right? You can set up automations as you wish, where you can select any of these vendors that you need automatically patched. You can choose when that should run on a daily or weekly or monthly schedule. You can do all of that. You might as well, if you want to exclude any software from being patched without a proper process, you can also add those exclusions, right? And then in addition to software, we also provide firmware support, firmware update support as well. So any drivers that are needing update, we provide updates for them as well. Again, the patches that you see here, we test in our own labs and update the repository of patches that we support every 24 hours. So from a SLA perspective, we have 24 hours to 72 hours window to provide you with the latest patches that are being released by vendors. Finally, the endpoint management module then has all of these checks that you can perform on your devices. Let's say if you want to run a test on what's the RAM or CPU usage of your machines, right? You can pull that report here. If you want to check if antivirus is properly running and updated on your machines, you can do that check. If you want to do a simple system health check from a utilization perspective, you can do that as well. or you can pull out a live usage of your machines from a monitoring perspective. So there are a lot of checks available to get the information that you want to get. Open ports is another example. Running services is another example of information that you can get, right? Now, to act upon that information, we have these tools such as application device control, which you can use to block unblock your devices, or tune up your machines, or if you want to push software to your endpoint devices, right? We have this capability of either you can choose these packages that are readily available, or you can upload your own packages and push them to your machines, right? And then you can also make registry modifications and services that are running, or any network modifications that you may want to do, right? So this tool gives you more granular control on your devices and applications to make whatever changes you want to make. You can also execute your scripts if you want to execute any scripts on your endpoint devices. Finally, all of the information that I just showed you is available in ready-to-use canned reports, pre-built custom pre-built reports, right, which you can export as a PDF or email to your colleagues, right? Or you can also automate this report. Let's say every Monday morning you want this report to be in your inbox. You can set up those automations, and this report would be sent to your inbox, or anybody else you want to receive this report to be received. Now, you can as well build your own reports by using the tables and figures on the left-hand side here, which is very easy to do. All you have to do is just with a click of a button, you can add all of this information to your own custom report and build this report, right? And if you want to receive any alerts from the solution to your inbox, or if you have a Slack channel, or if you have a ticketing platform, we can set up those alerts as well. Right, so that's fundamentally what the solution can do. You can, again, summarizing, you can implement this solution to build an end-to-end vulnerability management program, or if you want to use the components or tools of the platform to enhance or enrich your existing vulnerability management or patch management programs, you can do that as well. Any questions if you have on the demo, feel free to put them in your chat, and I'll hand over to Liron. Thanks, Liron. Before I do that, is there anything else you wanted me to cover?
Hi, actually, there's a question in the chat. If we have some kind of store that allow the station to install IT application on it that have been approved by the IT team, can you answer, please?
Yes, so you can do that as well. So in the endpoint management module, what you can do is, as part of the software deployment capability, we have this capability to manage your own applications here. And these applications can be the applications that are approved by your IT, right? And these can be used to deploy on the machines. Though if you are wanting your end users to download this, we do not have that capability yet, right? So system admin will have to push these push these packages on end user machines. The end user cannot access this yet.
I have an important question. If you can bring us some kind of case study. We have, as you know, the Ivanti have a lot of products, a lot of suite of products, and one of the products is PassSecure VPN. And there is a lot of vulnerability in Ivanti every few days. So, does you have any kind of case study about a customer that you avoid in advance the vulnerability of PassSecure/Ivanti with the SecPod? It's very important to us because every few days there is a vulnerability with Ivanti, and this is a huge issue in this area, especially right now in the situation we are involved in.
Of course. Thanks. And thanks for that question, Lior. Yes, so we do that. what we do is there are a couple of customers, right? Recent events, not just Ivanti, there was Team City event before this going on, right? So we were supporting that as well. And so how we usually work on that is we have a list of applications that we support today, and this list keeps on improving. And we have the latest ongoing events among all of these vendors, right, that we support here. How we do that is our own research labs. We keep finding these new vulnerabilities and then add that support on the platform. We do have, in fact, also a hotline for our customers where if they want, if they're firefighting an active issue, they can always get our team involved in that firefighting, right? From a case study perspective, what I can definitely talk about just before the current the vendor issue that you mentioned, Lior, we had a very good, very big case study going on the Log4j, which happened last year, where the biggest ask from our customers that we saw that failed many of our customers were failing was because they were using two different solutions. There was a remediation solution that was owned by IT, and then there was a security scanner that was owned by security teams. And since Log4j could not be detected very easily, right, and all of these scanners were not capable of detecting it very soon, very quickly. That was the first challenge. Second challenge our customers were facing, that nobody knew how to update the Apache library because it was a library, it was not just a software, right? So among all of this, what we saw were large teams among our customers was really struggling how to get it done. But when they came on to SanerNow and they saw there was a streamlined approach, the solution can not just detect software vulnerabilities that are publicly reported, but also there are a lot of other modules, a lot of other functionalities where customers can run their own detections and highlight these issues that may not be known, very well known or defined in the public domain. And the use of immediately updating it with the integrated patch management tool was really an easy solution for them, right? Where we saw, and we had a lot of customers migrating away from their existing solutions to SanerNow back then. And we are seeing that now also with all the large vendors. It's not just Ivanti, there are a lot of other issues going on with ConnectWise, right? And in the past, there has been issues with other vendors as well. So yes, so from that perspective, the biggest advantage that customers see in SecPod solution is the integrated approach and capability to automate most of these findings or updates that they can.
Thank you.
Jasir, thanks for the explanation. Actually, we have a few more questions in the Q&A section, so I'll be glad if you would be able to answer. And of course, we can allow another 10 minutes, guys. So if you have questions, don't hesitate, write it to us in the Q&A section. So there's a question regarding an automatic action via the product. For example, if the product can start a computer that's in shutdown status.
Yes, so if I understand it right, yes, there is an automatic update, automatic reboot, automatic shutdown capability right on the platform that you can utilize to perform the activities. What we are also working on is Wake on LAN, which we don't have today, right? Which is usually an expectation from customers. Though if you want to automatically shut down or plan the reboot of your machines, that capability is there. Another thing that we have as part of the platform is as soon as you implement a Windows patch, if you want to force a reboot, that is a capability of the solution right? Where
Jazir, I just see that the person who asked this recorrect his question. So he said not an automatic reboot, but starting an off computer. Computer is in shutdown status, and he wants to start it. Is it possible to do it via the product?
So that is not the capability that that we have today, right? Automatic startup, booting of machines. That is something that we are building right now, where we will also build the software deployment, the ISO deployment, image deployment, right? So automatic startup machines. All of those are in the works that are going to be added components of the endpoint management module that I demonstrated.
Okay. Another question here is, are we doing Windows Mac security updates, meaning OS updates? I know the
Yes.
answer, but I will let you answer it.
Yes. So we do support Windows operating system updates as well as third-party application updates. So I think I had it here somewhere. Yes. So this is the list of all the operating systems and third-party applications that we support today. Right, which you can also find on our website, as well as I mean, you can definitely get the list from ProLogic team. But these are all the operating systems that we support today, both for operating system updates as well as the third-party applications if you have deployed on these operating systems. So this list is huge and it keeps expanding. Of course, if you don't see any version covered here, you can definitely reach out to Liron and her team, or us as well, where we can take that into consideration and see where does it fit on our product development roadmap. And of course, I want to also mention SecPod owns its own. We have our own R&D and product development team. So all you want on the platform that may or may not be there right now, we can always take it up as a request.
Thank you. There were a few more questions that it would be glad if you will be able to answer. For example, if we have integration to SIEM, for example, Splunk SIEM.
So we do have these integrations available, maybe not off the shelf today. Most of these integrations are custom based on whatever customers actually want to export into their, it could be a SIEM solution like Splunk, or it could be your any other solution, right, where you want this information exported. We have the REST APIs available to the platform. Proper documentation is also something we have. And we do have some ready-made integrations, though how we operate today is we customize this integration based on what our customers want to achieve. We do have also integrations with some of the other help desks and ticketing solutions, as well as ITSM solutions. Definitely, we can work it out for you.
Okay, thank you. Another question. Based on what the product determine the level of the risk of a CVE?
We do that on multiple levels. So one level we do that is using a CVSS score, right, where we assign a CVSS score to each of the vulnerability that are being discovered. That has been the traditional approach. We are moving also to a EPSS scoring model very soon, right? Though we have CVSS score for each vulnerability, as well as the severity defined based on the CVSS scores. What we also have is another layer of scoring, may not be objective scoring like a score, like a quantified score, but this information where exploitability of the vulnerability, as well as if that vulnerability has an active exploit going on in the public domain. Then, of course, what we also have is a risk prioritization, where we use that CVSS score, and then we also give you another perspective of, is that CVE really actionable right now, or you can maybe plan to act on that CVE in 3 months or 1 month. So we do help, we do have that scoring. We have multiple scoring mechanisms.
good. Thank you. Another question. So if we have a vulnerability in a server that is currently not supported by Microsoft, for example, 2008, can we do virtual patch in order to close the gap?
We can do it in two ways. One is we do have this support for most of the Windows versions. Of course, there can be any legacy version that we don't have here. There are two ways to do it. One is to use the endpoint management module to update it. Though if you have a significant deployment on that version, we can also consider it as a separate maybe a product development exercise, right? Like we did for IBM AIX recently, where a lot of our customers, specifically for banking industry, came and asked for us to support that version, and we took it on demand. So we have both the capabilities available for you. You can definitely update these legacy versions using the deployment capability, this update capability on the endpoint management module, which works more like your Intune, right? But if you want us to support that specific version for also supporting the applications on deployed on that server, we definitely can consider it as a separate activity.
Thank you. Another question. Guys, it's very good. You're asking a lot of questions, and keep going. We still have time. Okay, so the solution downloads update just as AWS would and deploys them. Can different policies be configured for different workstations? How does it work exactly?
Yes. So one clarification. Today we have the servers that you have on AWS or Azure. We deploy an agent on those EC2s or the VMs on the cloud. Though we are coming up with very soon, we are coming up with another product which will work for the cloud itself. But today, the compliance management solution that you see needs an agent running on all of those devices, be it a on-prem workstation or a cloud workload, right? Yes. Another to the second question, yes, it is possible to create custom compliance policies for specific versions of your of the operating systems running on those workloads, right? Where you can set up these policies and create separate benchmarks and assign them to a respective group, right? Which is where you can select here what if you're customizing a policy. Right? With what group of devices should it apply to, right? And once you configure that here, sorry, yeah, right. Once you configure that here, you can then see the reports of miscompliance based on the benchmarks that you have defined, right? And that is limited to the group of devices that you have assigned that benchmark to.
Thank you. Another question. In terms of deployment on servers, do the software have kind of a proxy server that connecting to SecPod tenant and not connecting directly to the internet?
We can definitely set up a proxy, right? Which is where you can decide how the agents must be deployed. So we do have the proxy capability, right? It could be the deployment phase, or if you want to use that proxy after deployment as well, we have that capability.
Amazing. Okay, and another question. What are the estimations supporting of new OS flavors they're released in the market for the agent?
We typically, I mean, as I said, so the new versions, if you see, right, for Mac OS, we support the latest version, which is 14th, and we're working on with adding more versions of that operating system. We are most times we are up to date with these versions. Though again, if you see some version we should prioritize, there's an open channel that you have. You can raise those requests to ProLogic. or directly to SecPod team, and then we get our resources aligned to working on those latest software. But yes, from a timeline perspective, we have a quarterly and a monthly update cycle on our product development, which includes not just the technical functionality of the platform, but also support for all of these operating systems, new versions that are getting released, and of course, all the third-party applications as well that we support today.
Thank you. I think we pretty much covered all the questions. So I will switch to Hebrew just for 1 second, Jasir, sorry for that. אז אני רואה שבאמת עלו כאן שאלות לגבי רמת התמיכה, וגם ג'סיר פה חזר והדגיש את היכולת להשתמש בצוותי הפיתוח שלהם, ובעצם להוסיף פיצ'רים חדשים לפי היכולת שלכם. אני רק רוצה להעיד שבתקופת הזמן שאנחנו עובדים עם היצרן הזה, יש להם תמיכה יוצאת מן הכלל, הם באמת עומדים לרשות הלקוח לכל דבר, כולל תהליך אונבורדינג, להתקנות ול-POCים, עם ליווי של היצרן צמוד לצרכים של הלקוח. יכולה לספר לכם שאפילו ללקוח אחד ספציפי עם סביבה מאוד מאוד מורכבת, החבר'ה של SecPod ממש ישבו וכתבו לו מסמך התקנה, מסמך דרישות, בדיוק כמו שהוא צריך לסביבה שלו, באופן ייעודי עבורו. זאת אומרת, ממש שמו את כל הצוות שנדרש על מנת לתת לו מענה הכי מדויק שאפשר לסביבה שלו. אז זה ככה בגדול, רק שתתרשמו מהיכולות של המוצר. אני מקווה שענינו על כל השאלות. בהנחה ויש עוד שאלות, אתם יותר ממוזמנים לכתוב לנו בצ'אט. אני גם כבר אשתף את הפרטים שלי על המסך. אנחנו נשאיר את הוובינר פתוח לעוד 5 דקות, תרגישו חופשי לשאול שאלות, אנחנו נחזור לכל מי שישתתף, גם מי שירצה לעשות איתנו פגישה אחר כך כדי לקבל דמו ספציפית עבורו, נשמח לעשות את זה. So just here I want to thank you for your participation and for the vast explanation. As I said, I'm going to leave my details on the screen right now, and we're going to leave the webinar open for another few minutes to allow the audience to ask more questions. And of course, we will get back to everyone who needs to get an answer from us. Thank you. תודה רבה, ונתראה בוובינר הבא.
Thanks, everybody. It was a pleasure.